The greatest story ever told. Presented by the United States Armed Forces Radio Service. Tonight we present Disputed Boundary, a drama based on a teaching from the greatest life ever lived.
In the town of Emmaus, the old scribe Hezekiah receives many strange requests from people who would have him write out their letters for them. And old Hezekiah is too experienced to display surprise in most cases. Yet now, as he sits at his little stall in the marketplace, he looks up with his surprise evident on his wrinkled face.
What's that? What did you say, young man?
It's a very simple request, sir. I don't know why it should surprise you so.
You say you want me to write a letter for you?
Yes, sir. Well, that's your business, isn't it, to write letters for others?
It is indeed, but I write letters for shepherds and farmers, men who don't know how to write for themselves. Not for boys like you who've been to school and learned to write.
Please, sir, I can pay you for your services.
All right, I don't pretend to understand this, but as long as you say you can pay. Where does the message go?
Well, it doesn't really go anyplace.
Now, see here, lad, if you come to play jokes on an old man, consider you've had your fun and be on your way.
Well, it's to be given to someone right here in the town.
If you've anything to say in anyone in Emmaus, why don't you just walk up to them and say it?
I wish I could.
Well, what's to stop you?
Please, sir, I just believe that I need your help and I'm willing to pay for it. Write the letter for me.
Uh-huh. So that whoever's to receive it won't be able to tell it's in your hand, eh?
It's almost right.
Almost. Will I ever be quite right with you? I don't understand what you want, why you want it, or anything else about you, but I can see I'll save myself time if I just write the message for you. Now then, what do you want to say?
My darling. You don't think that's right?
So that's why you can't tell the person involved. You don't want her to know who wrote the message.
Oh, it's not that. I don't want her father to know.
Her father? Oh, he objects to you, huh? You look a fine lad. Why doesn't he like you?
Oh, it isn't exactly me.
Oh, first, I'm almost right now. It's not exactly you. Can you be definite about anything, young man?
Yes, sir, I can. If Nathaniel and my father could only get some sense into their heads, then Ruth and I wouldn't have all this trouble.
Nathaniel, eh? Oh, then I'll wager you're Micah's son.
That's so.
That dispute's been going on ever since I can remember. That's your trouble, eh?
Now, will you help me with the letter?
No, lad.
But why not?
Because it wouldn't do you any good, that's why. No letter to anyone can help patch up that quarrel.
Yes?
But let me think about it. I've observed more trouble and foolishness in this town than any other man. I know everybody's business because people come to me and they have to tell me their innermost secrets so I can write letters for them. I've learned one thing about people. Most times they make their own troubles. So you just let me think about this a while, will you?
If you think you can help, sir.
Maybe. Yes. Maybe.
Have you brought out the baskets, Saul?
I have them by the side of the house, Father.
You might bring along a spade, too.
We don't need a spade to pick pomegranates off a tree, do we?
You'll bring it along just in case there's trouble.
Please, Father, let's not have any more of that.
If that old fool Nathaniel starts saying that I'm trespassing on his land while we're picking our pomegranates, it's going to lead to trouble. He's a stubborn man.
Perhaps you're being stubborn, too.
Me? Stubborn? Of course not.
But you don't give in any more than he does.
Why should I? I'm in the right. Don't you understand?
But if only you'd...
Saul.
Yes, sir.
Get the spade, get the baskets, and come with me.
Yes, Father.
There she is.
Oh, I don't see her. Where, Father?
Right ahead of us. The tree. How big does it have to be for you to see it?
Oh, you mean the tree? Yes, sir.
And the fruit looks ripe for the picking. First, we'll start on the branches that overhang Nathaniel's property.
Why on those first? Why not on the ones that are on our side?
They're all on our side, if the truth be known. His land doesn't begin where he says it does. Oh, no. So we'll start on the other side of the tree first. Now, come, I'll do the picking. You arrange the fruit in the basket gently. Don't bruise it.
Yes, sir.
Now then. There. That one's a beauty. And now, this one. You there, off my land! You see, the old fool's been waiting for this. Well, let him come. I dare him. Meantime, we'll go right on picking our fruit. There's another one solved. And here.
Now, see here, you stubborn old fool. You're on my land.
But the tree's on my land. It's my tree.
Then get back over to your side and pick the fruit from there.
This is my side.
The land you're standing on now is mine.
Just because you say so doesn't make it so. That's all. Let's go on with our work.
I warn you, Micah.
Here, son. Another one.
If you don't get off my land, I shall be forced to put you off.
I didn't come unarmed, Nathaniel. Son, hand me that spade.
Oh, Father, please.
I told you there'd be trouble. Give it to me.
Yes, sir.
Well, Nathaniel.
I won't be bullied, Micah. You'll get off my land now. And if you don't,
Father, don't do that. He'll hurt you. Please don't.
Ruth, what are you doing here? Get back into the house.
I won't leave you here alone.
And I won't go and leave this trespasser to spoil my land.
Saul, please.
I'll try, Ruth. Come, Father. We'll accomplish nothing by standing here arguing. You go back to the house, please.
I don't like to give in to that man.
Go, Father, please. I'll bring the baskets back after I've filled them.
From your own side of the tree.
All right, from my own side of the tree. But if you want to avoid trouble, don't stand around here ready to provoke it.
Ruth,
Yes, Father.
you're to stand watch here. If he comes over to our side of the land, you're to call me.
Yes, sir.
I'll be at the house. Just call if you need help.
I understand.
And you, Saul, don't forget I'll be waiting, too. In case that old fool makes trouble.
Yes, Father. I'll see you at the house soon.
They've gone.
I know. I'll have to go on picking the fruit while we talk.
I didn't hear from you.
Oh, I tried to write a letter, or at least have one written so that your father wouldn't know.
I don't like it. I wish it were different. We've nothing to hide, nothing to be ashamed of. Why do they make us feel like criminals?
I know how you feel. They can't draw a simple line between their own bits of land, but they've been able to draw a line between us. Oh, Ruth.
Don't stop working. They're watching us.
You're right. Ruth,
Yes,
listen closely to what I say.
I'm listening.
There may be a way.
What do you mean?
Old Hezekiah, the scribe. I went to see him to get a letter written. He's the one who told me not to write. He said there was another way. A better way.
What way?
I don't know. He just said to let him think about it. And I know he'll do what he can. He seems gruff at times, but at heart he's a fine man. So, I'm willing to wait, if you are.
If you think it's best, Saul, I'll wait. Anything you say, I'll do. Only, I hope it succeeds, whatever it is.
I still say we've got those other pomegranates coming to us.
But, Father, I filled all 3 baskets from our side alone.
No.
And there wasn't any fight. Isn't that something to consider?
I only wish that old fool had started something. I would have been... Well, who is it? Well, what are you...
Well, Micah, don't you ask a visitor to come in? To be seated? Don't you offer him a cool drink of water or milk?
Why, certainly. Come in, Hezekiah. Make
Thank
yourself
you.
comfortable. Saul, fetch Hezekiah some cool milk.
Yes, sir, of course, but Hezekiah...
Well, don't stand there. Go on. Go get the milk.
Yes, sir.
Now then, Hezekiah, what accounts for this visit here? Truly, the surprise made me appear rude.
Well, it must be a surprise. I think the last time I was here was when your son was born. Ah, that was a great day, wasn't it?
Yes, indeed. But now, today, I mean...
What brought me? Is that it?
Yes.
Well, I'll come straight to the point. I know you've been carrying on a dispute with Nathaniel for a long time. And I have a way...
Sir.
Oh, thank you, lad. That's very kind of you. Now, as I was saying, I know you've been carrying on a dispute with Nathaniel for a long time, and I believe I've thought out a way of bringing this dispute to an end.
You have?
I think so.
And in a way that will satisfy me?
Yes, in a way that'll satisfy you.
Oh, but, sir...
Now, lad, this is a business between your father and me. After all, this matter can't concern you.
Yes, don't interrupt so. Now, Hezekiah, let's get this plan of yours.
The first step is for you to come with me to hear the master. Would you do that?
The master?
Mm-hmm.
What's he to do with this? Is he a judge, divider of land, a settler of disputes?
Oh, he's none of those things, and yet he's all of those.
Now, see here. Did you come to help me or to put riddles to me?
Where's the riddle? I say the master has it in his power to bring peace to you, and peace also between you and Nathaniel. Well, that's all you have to know.
And I'll be satisfied?
It can't be settled unless you're satisfied.
In that case, I'll go with you, Hezekiah.
Good. You meet me at my stall in the marketplace in the morning.
And so my husband and I thought it would be a neighborly gesture for us to talk to you about it, Nathaniel.
Hezekiah sent you then?
Yes. We talked about it, and this constant bickering can't be any pleasure for you, we thought. We'd like to have it settled if you could.
Naturally. But it must be settled my way. That's understood.
Of course, it must be settled in a way that satisfies you.
Good. What do I have to do?
Tomorrow in the Olive Grove, just outside of town, there'll be a great crowd of people come to hear the master teach. You're to go there with me.
To hear the master?
Why not? Many of us here in Emmaus have gone to hear him. It'll do something for you, Nathaniel. Make you feel differently.
Would it help me win in my dispute with Micah?
I feel sure that it will.
Well, I have nothing to lose. I'll go with you.
That's very good. Will you stop for me at our house? It's on the way to the city gate.
Of course. In the morning, then, Rebecca.
Well, Hezekiah, here I am, as I promised.
It's good to see you, Micah. Come in and rest a moment while I finish this message I'm writing for someone.
Oh, don't let me disturb you.
You won't. Go right on talking if you wish.
You know, I thought about this last night. Wouldn't let me sleep.
Disturbing, eh?
Very. You said the master could help me settle my differences with Nathaniel. Yet I can't understand why he should. I'm not a believer. You know that.
Yes, I know, but that was last night.
What do you mean?
You've never seen the master. You've never heard him. It's not strange that you're not a believer.
No, and yet...
You're confused, is that it? Well, I have a feeling, a deep-rooted feeling, that you will believe before this day is over.
And then he'll help me?
We'll see about that, won't we? Well, I'm ready. Shall we start out?
Ruth, I waited here at the tree for you.
I know. I saw you from the house. I had to wait till my father left
Left? Where did he go?
to hear the master.
What?
I know he hasn't ever gone before, but it's not so strange that he should.
Oh, I didn't mean that. I meant only that it's strange that your father and my father should both go to hear the master for the first time on the same day.
Both? You mean your father?
Yes, that's where he went.
I only hope they don't meet there.
It'd be very unfortunate if they did. They might start their bickering all over again in front of all those people, in the presence of the master. I wouldn't want that to happen.
But they've already gone.
Then we should go, too.
You mean in the event there's trouble?
Yes. The two of us seem to be the only ones who can keep them apart in moments like those. Come, we must hurry. I only hope we're not too late.
Well, Hezekiah, we've been waiting quite a while. When does this master begin his preaching?
Soon. He waits for everyone to assemble. Many people come from the hills and farms hereabout, and it takes time.
Well, I can wait. Just the thought that I'm going to be able to get this fight settled my way is enough to keep me here. I tell you, when I think about it...
The idea appeals to you, eh?
It certainly does. To prove that old fool Nathaniel wrong is something I've waited for a long time. And if this is my chance...
Father.
Well, Saul, what are you doing here?
Oh, I'm glad I found you in time.
In time? What do you mean?
Well, I just
Now,
heard
Paul,
that...
this is no time to interrupt your father with gossip.
But, Hezekiah, you don't know what could happen if Father met...
Now, calm down, lad. Things have gone well enough till now. There's no reason to expect they won't continue that way, is there?
Well, why, no. No, not at all.
Well, then be quiet and listen. See, the master's taking his place. I believe he's ready to begin his teaching.
I say unto you which hear, love your enemies, do good to them which hate you. Him that taketh away thy cloak, forbid not to take thy coat also.
There, Hezekiah. There's the kind of teaching you don't hear often.
I knew that once you heard for yourself, you'd be impressed.
And the simple way he speaks such great thoughts.
Yes.
I never knew about all this before.
Do you see how it can help you in your dispute with Nathaniel?
Exactly what I was thinking. If only Nathaniel could hear these words and be able to abide by them.
Nathaniel. I see.
Wait, the master speaks again.
Give to every man that asketh of thee, and of him that taketh away thy goods, ask them not again. And as ye would that men should do to you, do ye also to them likewise.
Very well spoken. Yes, Hezekiah, it's unfortunate, though.
Unfortunate? What do you mean?
Fine words, but too idealistic.
Oh.
You don't really expect a person to live up to those teachings, do you? Nathaniel, for example.
You'll never know unless you give him the chance.
No, it wouldn't work. People aren't like that. Certainly Nathaniel isn't.
Probably not, but it would be interesting to find out, wouldn't it?
Son, it was a great revelation to me. A great revelation. And yet a pity, too.
Oh, I'm glad I was there. And I shall go again to hear him.
Of course, we both shall. By the way, what was it you came there to tell me?
Oh, it was a small matter. Oh, nothing, really.
Well, that's just as well. You see, something's been going round in my head. Do you think Nathaniel would possibly do what the master... No, he probably wouldn't.
Didn't you ever think, Father, that if you were to adopt the same words and use them?
Your father is a very reasonable man.
Yes.
Now, if I could find a way to tell Nathaniel what the master said, at least I could prove my theory to Hezekiah. But how? Wait. I have it.
Yes?
Get the baskets. We're going down to pick the rest of the fruit off that tree.
Oh, there'll be trouble.
Of course there will. Nathaniel will come down to argue with me, and that'll give me the chance to point out to him the errors of his conduct. Yes, that's it. Get the basket, son. son. You just keep putting the fruit into the basket, and I'll keep an eye out for Nathaniel.
Yes, Father.
We've done it. We've done it. You see? Here he comes now.
Please, Father, don't be too hard with him.
I have right on my side. I can be calm about this. There he comes. And that daughter of his is tagging along, too.
Yes. There she is.
Now just let him start something.
Micah, I can see that you're up to your old tricks again. Are you trying to provoke me?
Nathaniel, a man who is easily provoked doesn't have much strength of character.
I don't need any philosophy from you, Micah. Just get off my land.
I thought so. Stubborn. Mean. Persistent. That's your trouble, Nathaniel.
Call it what you will, but get off my land.
You know, Nathaniel, I thought about you today. Yes, I thought about you a great deal. What a pity, I said, that a man who might be a fine, decent neighbor hasn't had his eyes open. Do you know where I was this morning?
I don't even care.
I went to hear the master. That's what I did. And I heard something that certainly could do you a great deal of good. He said, love your enemies, do good to them which hate you. That's the way to bring friendship and goodwill into the world.
Is it?
Yes. And just you think about it. It should mean something to you, unless, of course, you're too stubborn to open your heart to a teaching that requires a man to be unselfish.
And I suppose you're an unselfish man.
I certainly am.
You seem too sure to suit me.
All right, I'll show you. I put it up to outsiders. Saul, do you consider your father a reasonable, unselfish man?
Well,
Go on, son. Tell him.
Father, I'd rather not say.
There, Micah, you see? Your own son.
Now, hold on. Before you go gloating, let's find out what your daughter thinks about you. Well, Ruth, is your father reasonable, temperate, calm?
Please, Father, don't make me answer.
There, Nathaniel, you see? What I've been trying to tell you. The master's teaching certainly would have done you a great deal of good, if you could live up to it.
If I could live up to it.
That's right.
Love your enemies. Do good to them that hate you. You heard that, did you?
I did.
Did you also hear him say, and as ye would that men should do to you, do ye also to them likewise? Did you hear that, too?
Yes, I heard that. How'd you know?
Because I was there, too.
You were?
Indeed, I was. And when I heard that, I said to myself, that Micah, if only he were able to live up to that, we'd have no trouble. He'd be a man ready to compromise.
You said that, huh? And I said to myself, well, you know what I thought.
It was wise teaching, wasn't it, Micah?
Yes, it was. But can we live up to it, Nathaniel?
Well, I can see now we didn't accept it in the sense he meant. I'm to make the sacrifice, not the other man. I'm to give instead of taking. To love instead of hating.
Well, I'll show you I can live up to that. I'm willing to make the first move. I'll agree that our boundary shall be where the trunk of this tree meets the earth. And I won't trespass on your land to pick my fruit. There. Is that fair?
I don't think so.
What?
Why, that means you give in on everything then. That doesn't leave any room for me to sacrifice. I should hate to think I couldn't match your generosity.
Well, what do you suggest?
Well, we shall move the boundary to this point here, where you've always wanted it. There. Is that living up to what we heard?
But then you're giving in to me altogether. That won't do. I think
You listen to what I think.
Now, wait, both of you.
Now, you see here, son.
No, Father, you'll both listen to me. Ruth and I have had enough of your bickering. Now that you're both willing to concede, we won't have any trouble working out a solution. I think that's what Hezekiah had in mind all along.
Hezekiah? You mean he planned this?
Yes. He took you to hear the master. He had his wife take Nathaniel there. He promised he'd help Ruth and me. And he has.
That sly old fox. Well, they put one over on us, eh, Nathaniel?
I think they did.
Now, about the boundary. Well, perhaps
We won't have to worry about that, Father. One day there won't be any boundary. Not if Ruth and I can have permission to marry.
Mary? I always had a suspicion you two were in love. Secretly, I've always thought she was a fine girl. Just wouldn't admit it because she's Nathaniel's daughter. Of course you have my permission, children.
And mine. With my confidence that you two will be happy. For you've shown two bitter men how to be friends. How to agree and compromise and substitute sacrifice for selfishness. And if you remember the words we heard today, it'll be the basis for a fine life together.
I say unto you which hear, love your enemies, do good to them which hate you. Him that taketh away thy cloak, forbid not to take thy coat also. Give to every man that asketh of thee, and of him that taketh away thy goods, ask them not again. And as ye would that men should do to you, do ye also to them likewise.
You've just heard Disputed Boundary, another episode in the greatest story ever told from the greatest life ever lived. This program was brought to you by the United States Armed Forces Radio Service. This is the United States Armed Forces Radio Service, the voice of information and education.